I've been rambling a lot actually in this YouTube video. It's going to be ridiculously long for a writing vlog simply because I keep rambling at the camera. Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Mandi Grace. Welcome to the second writing vlog of this summer. Hopefully there will be more, but we're coming to the end of June and I'm busy through a lot of July, so I don't know that there will be more. I am very close to the end of the Dark Slopes adventure, for anyone who's been keeping up with the other vlogs. It was supposed to be basically the inciting incident that set off a separate quest for my main character, and then it just turned into the whole thing. We're 21,000 words into the story and we're still at the Dark Slopes, and several adventures have happened there. It's been interesting stuff. I do think it's good build up for the rest of the story that needs to take place. It's just a lot longer than I expected, but we finally got to the point where people are thinking, oh, we might need help, let's get some allies, which was supposed to be what happened at the Dark Slopes. And then my main character Lance is gonna head off to the north on his adventure of trying to get the Northern Kingdom to help us out, and it's going to be this whole epic journey of like self-discovery and acceptance because he's in exile from there and there's just a whole lot going on. And then also there's going to be a lot of shenanigans because, you know, civil wars are fun. And then Messiah, the main character from book 1 in this series, is going to stay in and around the Dark Slopes having her own journey of self-discovery. But much different because hers involves her magic and her past and other things. And then, you know, she's going to be the one dealing with the dragons and angry mages and whatnot. And then at the end of the book, their two separate journeys will converge again, presumably, if I follow my outline. But Lance just was never going off on his northern quest. It was just not happening. And I didn't expect it to take 21,000 words for Lance to be like, oh, I should go north. And he hasn't actually, like, gotten there yet, but he's, you know, about to make that decision. So we're close. But also, something I didn't realize, my arms are getting very tired. I don't know if you can tell that I keep switching my camera back and forth, but you can probably tell. But anyway, losing my train of thought. Yes, so in my initial outline, I knew that Lance was going one direction and Messiah was going the other, but I did not realize that the tight-knit group of friends were also going to split because... So my prince and princess, Messiah and Arturius, each have a small group of knights that guard them, which are essentially like their royal guard slash ladies and gentlemen in waiting slash Knights of the Kingdom. But I expected in my head when I did the outline that when Lance went off on his northern quest, the lads would go with him and the ladies would stay with Messiah. But that's not what's happening. Because once I reached this point in the story the last time I was writing, Arturius decided he wanted to stay with Messiah, which is fine, you know, it's his twin sister, he feels protective, whatever. Which means that some of the lads are going north and some of them are staying at the Dark Slopes with Messiah and Arturius. And also, Messiah's ladies are split already because one of them is still recovering from her wounds from book 1. So she's back at the capital and one of them is with Messiah and, spoiler alert, the other one is dead. Also, one of the lads has been kidnapped and is also probably dead. So our group of like, how many is that? It was like 9 of them. The 9, you know, main characters, or the 1 being split off in different directions and 2 kind of dwindling. The numbers are shrinking. So anyway, I'm hoping to actually finish Lance's Dark Slope journey so that he can go north in this writing vlog. We will see if that happens. Well, you can tell the two that I really enjoyed. Guys, I cannot find my matches, so apparently I didn't bring them with me to my grandparents this time. Also, despite my best efforts to locate either matches or a lighter here at my grandparents' house, I cannot find anything. So, I'm gonna have to write with it. Oh. Wow. That kind of looked planned, but it wasn't. They just dropped out of my notebook. Matches. I was briefly on some live sprints earlier this evening while I was editing some YouTube videos, but now that I'm actually writing, that sprint is done. So I gotta go see if there's another sprint tonight.
Yeah, it's literally me. I don't even know why. It's not even that big of a deal. I don't need to put a name on it.
2 days from now, that's not helpful. I'm setting reminders for all the other ones that I'm finding so that, you know, I'll know. Okay. I think I'm caught up on setting reminders. Cool beans. I'm going to click on the one that starts in 20 minutes because that's the nearest option. It's not actually labeled as a writing stream. It is an author on AuthorTube, but the stream is called Trivia Night, so I don't know that we're actually going to be writing, but I'm here. Okay. Where's my note? Aww. I require too many things. Too many physical things when writing. But I have tried the virtual series Bible, do it all online type thing, and I'm not a fan. I like to be able to physically hold things and touch the paper and write notes, but it also leads to chaos. So there's that. Anyway, I wanted you so I can mark how many words we're starting with. Word count. 21,273. Any bets on how long it will take me to get Lance away from the dark slopes? Because I would have said, you know, like 5,000 words, but 21. I'm going to say 30. When I hit 30,000 words, Lance will be on his adventure. Not necessarily at 30,000, but when I reach 30,000, he will no longer be at the dark slopes. I want to say 25, but, you know, I thought this would be so much smaller, and it's been huge. So if I say 25, it's going to be 30, you know? So we're going with 30. So, let's pull up another YouTube tab. There's so many of them. And Bethany's timers. Does she have any small ones? I only use the 25-minute fantasy one, but let's look for other ones. There's a 20-minute... 15! Here we go. Suspenseful music. Oh. Okay. Let's do my... Where was it? The 15-minute sprint. Here we go.
Grammarly can help you write quickly and confidently.
No ads. Well, today's portion of the writing blog should be interesting. I have some tamales, and also there's a severe thunderstorm warning, which at the moment it seems to be calming down, but a minute ago the wind was going berserk, and I was like, is there about to be a tornado or something? But, yeah, it's a little stormy out. He seems a little perturbed by the weather. He's come out here to sleep with me rather than on his bed. I don't think the cat cares. He's like, whatever, I'll just sit here and watch the world flood away, or whatever. Well, I actually got distracted by other things last night, and yesterday during the thunderstorms. So I didn't write at all. But I'm gonna sit down and start writing now and see how far we can get. So yesterday was the thunderstorms where I planned to write, and so I had at least one clip with the thunderstorm and my tamales. Anyway, and then the day before, I was writing. I only wrote for about 30 minutes, and then everyone came home, so I didn't write anymore. I was, talking to people, and then I went to bed, and there was no more writing. So the last 2 days, I only wrote a little bit on Thursday, and then planned to write yesterday, but didn't, and now here we are. First things first. What should we do? I don't have a favorite left, so now it's just like, pick one, randomly. In case you're curious, we are at 22,000 words, and we're still at the dark slopes. And I said, what did I say, by 30? I expect to be somewhere else entirely. I don't think I'll get to 30,000 words today, so we won't know if I'm correct. As always, checking to see if the new one's live. Ooh, there's 2 live right now. I have options. Oh no. Okay. I'm gonna open them both, and we'll go from there. This one has been live for an hour and a half. We're probably in soon. This one.
That's the end of our third and final sprint.
Has been live for 2 hours. Ah, I missed them both.
I typically am trying to do 4, but I have to go.
Dang it. Well, that one's ending, so I'm going to hop on this other one that's currently writing, and we'll see how long we last. This is probably their last sprint, though, I'd imagine. I was so excited. There were 2 live, and I was like, yes, I made it. No, I'm 2 hours late. They both started around 9. Dang it. One of these days. It's fine. It's an 8-minute sprint. Well, it was probably longer. There's 8 minutes left on the sprint. I don't think one of Bethany's timers is that short. Oh, good. One more sprint. I had the 2 sprints when I opened at the beginning. The one was basically done. The other one I did 2 writing sprints with them, which was great. And I went to go check my subscriptions again just to see, and another sprint has popped up. So I'm going to go over there and see, because it looks like they just started. I already see one of the girls who was in the last sprint that just ended, so I guess we're all popping over here.
Okay, Mandy says, I adore Nano in all forms, so I always want to participate in some fashion, but it doesn't always work out with the projects I'm in the middle of. Absolutely. Totally agree. Ooh. Alright, so Yaza is voting for the blue one, and the little gray spiky one. He's so cute. He kind of reminds me of the whale sharks, just the way that his spikes are. Hey, the green spiky one won. But here is a good shout out. They are all very cute dinosaurs. And Mandy's dinosaur won.
I had such good luck with this last stream that I just came across. So I'm gonna go back to my subscriptions and see if anyone else is just jumping on to start a random stream. Ooh, I found one for 2 p.m. That's 2 hours from now. But I could take a break and do that. I am, as of just writing what I wrote, 23,000 words into the story. Lance has decided that he's needing to go north on his quest that he was supposed to go on. So it is happening. It hasn't happened yet. He's not gone. He's still at the Dark Slope. But he's made that decision, and he and the knights and the prince and princess and everyone who's there are discussing things like who's going to go with him. Because Lance is part of the royal guard. He guards the prince, which is what he's doing at the Dark Slopes in the first place, because Messiah and Arturius, my two royals, who are basically the main-ish characters. Arturius really isn't. I thought he was going to be in book 1, but then it was all about Messiah and a little bit about Lance. So now in book 2, which is basically just about Messiah and Lance. But anyway, yeah, everybody went to the Dark Slopes because Messiah's magical and she's the one who has to deal with the mages, so she had to go. And then Arturius just kind of goes where Messiah goes because he adores her. So anyway, they all went to the Dark Slopes, which means that Arturius took his 4 knights with him, and Messiah only actually took 1 of her 2 remaining knights. I keep killing people. Anyway, because one of them was wounded, so she stayed back at the capital, and then the other one, who's actually the best fighter in, like, the entire kingdom, went with her. So yes, Messiah is going to be staying at the Dark Slopes and dealing with the angry mages and trolls and dragons and whatever that's coming out of Nothia. And, obviously her 1 bodyguard is going to be staying with her, so that's not changing anything. But Arturius would like to stay at the Dark Slopes, and Lance wants to go over into the Northern Kingdom to be like, hey, we need help, this kingdom is gonna kill us all. So yes, the boys are splitting because they're all assigned to Arturius and they're supposed to guard him, but he's like, one of us needs to go north, so some of us need to go with him so that he's not alone, especially because of his history with this specific kingdom. Because Lance isn't supposed to go to this kingdom for reasons, so he's gonna need some protection. So, yes, the prince is like, let's split down the middle. Some of you can guard me, some of you are going to guard Lance. So right now we are, I'm breaking apart my little crew, and we're about to go 2 separate directions. Kind of 3, because Joan is still stuck over in the capital healing from her wounds. And also kind of 4, because Camden was kidnapped and is in Nothia. Possibly. He might be dead. They don't know yet. But anyway, yes. Yep. That's what's happening. I think I like building little groups that are like tight-knit, found family groups, and then splitting them apart. Because the last book that I wrote before my fantasy series was the last book in my whole Robin Hood saga. And in that book, I took this group that had been together for 7 books? 6 books, really? Because I guess I broke them in Return to Sherwood and not Return to Grace, didn't I? Yeah, anyway, they'd been together for 6 books, and I just scattered them to the 4 winds, and it was so much fun. So, yep, I think that's just a thing that I like to do. I like to make this beautiful friendship family and then break them. It's kind of fun. I've actually been breaking this a lot more than Robin Hood. Because in my Robin Hood series, I was very constrained. Because in the very first book that I wrote and published, it was set with like an 80-year-old telling the story of Robin Hood. And she mentioned who survived in that book. So from then on out, I had to let those people live. So I couldn't kill off very many people in Robin Hood. I was very boxed in, which I did not appreciate. Especially when I got to Return to Sherwood and Return to Grace, because in those books I kind of wanted to raise the stakes, and I was like, all of these people get to live. Oh no. So I was trying to introduce new characters so that I could kill some people off, but the thing is, it didn't have the same emotional weight, because you'd only been with those characters for 1 or 2 books, rather than being with those characters for all 7. You know? Anyway, it just wasn't what I wanted. And in this this series, the King Arthur stuff, I can do what I want. So I have been. I've been killing our knights, and it's terrible and sad, and I kind of enjoy it. And also, it's easier to raise the stakes if I could just kill the main cast versus in the Robin Hood stuff when I was like, well, I can kill that side character over there that nobody cares about. So anyway, yep, it's been fun, and I'm kind of ranting right now. But since I'm not finding a stream that's going to be live right now, I'll probably take a break until that 2 o'clock one. I've written over 1,000 words. I think it was something like 1,600 when I did the math. Anyway, so that's good. It's a good day. The other night when I was writing, granted I didn't write very long because everyone came home and interrupted, but I wrote like 800 words that night, which isn't bad, you know. It was progress, but it didn't feel great because a good day of writing for me usually I can't even speak. A good day of writing for me typically has at least 1,000 words. Often more, but at least 1,000 words. And it just feels right. Because if I write less than 1,000 words, I feel like I didn't do anything. And maybe that's a personal problem of mine. But it's not... I don't know. I feel like word count doesn't necessarily matter. And I definitely don't judge my, I don't know, achievements on, you know, word count, but also I do like to be productive. And if I don't get anywhere with a story, I don't feel like I was productive. So anything less than 1,000 words doesn't feel productive, because anything less than 1,000 words was not a whole scene. It has to be at least 1,000 words for me to get through an actual scene. Usually more than that, in fact. So if I write like half a scene, it just doesn't feel like that was productive. I don't know if I'm gonna keep any of that in the vlog. That was a lot of ranting about a lot of crazy word count stuff that doesn't matter. I have not actually eaten lunch yet. It's almost 1 o'clock now, but I got distracted. I went to Discord because I'm on Bethany Atazada's writing Discord group for her patrons on Patreon, and so I went over there because sometimes people are sprinting in the Discord server. So I went to check, but nobody was currently, and I'm not gonna start the sprint on my own because I'm just not that comfortable in this group. I don't get on Discord hardly ever at all. So I don't really interact with these people. Anyway, the point is, I was just scrolling through Discord this entire time for like 30 minutes, trying to catch up on messages, and then I did respond to one person who was asking for help about creating characters, so I answered their question and tried to be helpful with a very long message. I didn't mean for it to get so long, but they were asking about fleshing out characters, and then I just started going. You know, I just, sometimes, when I start talking about writing, I just go. You open the floodgates and things come pouring out. So anyway, it was a long message, and I ended it with actually recommending one of the books that I read this year for my every month that I'm reading a new book on writing craft, so I recommended one of the books. It wasn't insanely helpful for me. It is in fact the one that I could not for the life of me understand, because my brain and the conversational, fast-paced way that this man was writing his book did not compute. There was no, it wasn't great for me. I will put a link to that vlog so you can go watch me struggle to read this book. But anyway, the point is, once I was done with the book, I could see it better, you know, than the first time that I was plowing through it. And I do think it would be at least marginally helpful, especially for someone who doesn't know what they're doing with characters. So yeah, I recommended a book, which I would not have known about if I hadn't been doing this book a month thing. So anyway, now that it's 1 o'clock, I'm going to eat. I'm gonna need some more tea when we come back to write, because I definitely finished that one. I don't know which one I'm going to drink, so I brought my tea with me to my grandparents. I brought my lovely box of tea from my brother and sister-in-law, probably more accurately from my sister-in-law, I imagine, because I don't really picture my brother buying me tea. But anyway, the point is, the chai tea was amazing, and clearly I have finished it. And the mint tea was my favorite, and I wish that the whole box was that tea because it was so good. But also, I've finished it. It's gone. And my choices now are less exciting. I did not like I think it was the herbal tea. I think the African solstice herbal tea. It was so bitter, and I really did not enjoy it. And I wasn't in love with the other green tea or the other black tea, but I drank one of the black teas this morning, so I feel like I'll do the green tea maybe for my next one, because I already did the black tea, so I do a different one this time. Spice it up a little. I probably won't do the herbal tea though, because I didn't like it. So I had two okay, meh, teas, or at least, you know, I felt that way. Tea is a very subjective thing. But anyway, there were two teas that were meh, and then there were two teas that were amazing, and then there was the one that I really disliked. Also, I'm ranting at the camera again, so we're gonna turn this off and go eat lunch. See what happens. I'm going a little bit different this time, and instead of pulling up one of Bethany's timers, I'm going to pull up some Taylor Swift songs and write to that. See how this goes. Specifically, the Evermore and oh, I have lost the word. What was it? Folklore. Folklore, that's what it is. The Folklore and Evermore albums from last year, because they're amazing. And also slightly more of the vibe of my story versus Reputation or something, although that could be entertaining. Anyway, the point is, this is definitely going to be muted because I don't want a copyright strike. Guys, whoop, stand, don't fall down. Big news, Lance is finally on his way to the original quest that my camera died, probably because I've been filming so many ranting and rambling sections today, and the battery couldn't take it anymore. Anyway, what I was trying to tell you was that Lance is finally on his way, even though he was apparently so reluctant to start the quest that I had originally outlined for him when I started this book. And anyway, we are at 23,000, what was it? Let me pull it up. 23,936 words, so basically 24,000, which I honestly did not think that I would be on the way with this storyline by 25,000, and I'm at 24. So I guess the end of the Dark Slopes stuff, for Lance anyway, Messiah's not done yet, but for Lance, the end actually came faster than I expected. So anyway, we're on our way to a different quest, which right now just means going back to the capital to talk to the king and be like, can I do this thing? Which everyone is going to be very reluctant to let him do, but he's gonna do it, and it's gonna be great. It's not gonna be great, there's gonna be a lot of problems, and I'm very excited. Also, I might kill some more people. Don't know. I just made a list today. This was... I took too much joy in this, but I made a list today of my main characters, so the prince and princess and their entourage of knights, which are like, you know, the best friends, found family sort of group. And I also put the king on there, and then there's a couple other people, like Arturius' love interest, who's Messiah's best friend, is on that list, and then a couple other random knights who spend a lot of time with the prince and princess. Anyway, anyone who is on screen a lot and the audience might, you know, form a connection to on an emotional level, I put on this list, and I'm keeping track of how many of them I'm killing, basically. It's my kill list, that's what it is. And I don't expect everyone on this list to die. I have no intention of ever killing Messiah, because she's, you know, my protagonist and I love her and I want her to win at the end of the day. So, she's definitely not dying. Everyone else is possibly fair game, but I don't expect to kill all of them. But anyway, I put them all on the list just so I could see how many of my big characters I'm going to turn into big deaths. I don't know what the ratio will be. Right now we have one major death who made it on the list, but that's from book 1. And I have one character who's MIA and possibly dead from this book. There are several other, like, knights and various people who have died in this book because the adventures of the Dark Slopes were not successes by any measure. It was a disaster all around. So a lot of people died. But not very many of them were part of the main group of people, you know? So they didn't make it to my kill list, basically. I don't know. This list is not very important, but I just kind of wanted to have it in one spot versus just in my head of, like, how many of the main characters I'm killing off, basically. By the way, the tea is actually decent. It's not as meh as I remember, and it's definitely not the one that I found disgusting. It's fine.